Well, thank you. As I've stated in writing, serving as the head baseball coach at my alma mater has been one of the greatest blessings of my life. I have had so much help and support here. The players that I have been able to coach here have been absolutely amazing and incredible, and they are the ones obviously I'm going to miss the most, as well as all the coworkers and people that I work with. This is a special place, and for me to be able to come here as a student, and then be able to come back here 20 years, after I left and serve my alma mater as the head baseball coach here has been just an incredible blessing and journey for me. But it is the right time for me. My wife Cheryl and I, over the last 5 months, have been able to experience life at a little slower and simpler pace, and for 40 years, life without baseball, and we've enjoyed it, and we just got a new grandbaby in our life, and our children are close, and I just think at this point in time in my life, I really truly need to put family first. So many people I need to thank, and hopefully I was able to do that in my letter to the UNC community. I've been in love with UNC ever since I was a kid, and I'm always going to be in love with UNC until this day, and I'm thankful. And for me, today is a very special and great day to be a Tar Heel.
Coach Fox, you said a lot of thank yous to a lot of people today, but Carolina wants to thank you. Thank you for what you have done for this program. Absolutely outstanding. Coming here as a student, being on the baseball team, going to the World Series, going off, having another incredible career, winning a national championship, then coming back and leading the Tar Heels to 7 World Series. What a phenomenal career professionally. But you did sacrifice an awful lot of time with your own family. But you've created an incredible baseball family. And we talk about the Carolina family a lot. And what you have contributed to this university is spectacular. I had an opportunity a couple of hours ago to speak to the team. And I talked about the 3, what I believe are the 3 concentric circles for a great life. To have a great family, do something you love, coach baseball, and do it at a place that you love, Carolina. And you had those perfectly aligned. And for 22 years, there's been hundreds of players that have had the pleasure of playing for you, the leadership, the mentorship. And now we all want to express our gratitude for building such an incredible program. And when you build outstanding programs, what you have a tendency to do is want to continue it, which is why we have Coach Forbes, somebody that you've mentored, somebody that played for you, somebody that's coached for you, somebody that volunteered for you, and now has the ability to lead this program and take it to even greater heights. And we couldn't be more delighted to have Coach Forbes leading this program. So Scott, congratulations to you, and best wishes as the head coach. Can't wait to work alongside you. We've been working together as an assistant, but now as the head coach leading the program. It's an honor to introduce you as the head coach of Carolina baseball.
Thank you so much, Bubba. The words that quickly come to my head are obviously humble and thankful, and just so many former players. But to be sitting here beside Coach Fox is really special for me. Coach recruited me to North Carolina Westland, and who'd ever thought I'd be sitting here as the head coach at UNC. I'm honored and I'm excited. Thank you, Bubba. I thank our Board of Trustees, and I thank our Chancellor. I had to write down some notes. It's a little bit easier in a press conference like this because I don't have to see, people that would make me extremely emotional. So I'll look down a little bit, try not to look down too much, but I do want to just thank a couple people, my family, my wife. I'm not going to get too deep there because that'll get extremely emotional, but I have the best wife I could ever have, and that to do what we do, you better have a great wife, and we're getting ready to hit 20 years, so that's thank you to Mandy and everything she does for me. My 2 daughters, Hannah and Allie, they're the world to me, and they've allowed me to coach, and I look forward to them being at so many games at the Bosch. My parents, my mom and dad, man, my dad has taken me to a lot of baseball games, watched a lot of baseball games. One of my dreams was that he'd be to watch me be a head coach, and he's going to be up there cheering in the stands and from the balcony, as well as my mom, Beth, Mandy's mom, and Mandy's dad, Earl. I know he's watching us today. My sister, Diane, and my brother, Stuart. Obviously, I thank the USC administration, so now I have to go to Coach Fox, and this is a hard one. Thank you, Coach Fox, for recruiting me, believing in me. He hired me in 2005 back to UNC as a pitching coach that had 0 pitching experience, and he believed in me, took a chance on me. I wouldn't be sitting here if that wasn't the case, and I'll forever be thankful, and you will always have a place at Boshamer Stadium, and hopefully we can get him out there throwing BP and yelling at the base runners for making bad reads. Real quick, I want to thank all the coaches that I've coached with. I'm not going to leave anybody out here. When I walked in the door, my first day as a volunteer assistant here, I was greeted by 2 coaches, Chad Holbrook and Roger Williams. And I'll forever be in debt to both of you. You took me under your wing. You showed me the ropes of Division I baseball, coming from Division III. Something I will never forget, but also you treated me like I'd been here. Both you guys played here, and I'm very thankful for that, and you taught me more than you'll ever know. Joe Hudak gave me a chance at Winthrop University, hired me. I've talked to him, and he knows how I feel about him. So real quick, I'm just going to name these guys real quick. Charlie Long and Jerry Edwards at North Carolina Wesleyan. Jeremy Keller, Stas Rzuski, Chris Cook, and Kyle DiEduardo at Winthrop, Billy Godwin, and Randy Mazey. And everybody that I've coached with at UNC. Jason Howe, Matt McKay, Robert Woodard, who was here and just recently is now the head coach at UNC Charlotte. Our current assistant coaches, Jesse Wiersbicki, who both played here, and Bryant Gaines, and led us to Omaha. The last name, he just showed up here today, not surprising. My best friend. I'm not going to get too much into that, but Scott Jackson he's my brother, and he knows how I feel about him. Our support staff is unbelievable. I'm not going to name every one of them, but they know who they are. They know how much they mean to me. They know how excited I am to get going. So I wanted to thank all those people, and then I wanted to make sure at the end I thanked every player. I told our guys today, it's all about them. It's all about our players. They're the reason we're sitting here. They're the reason we've won so many games. That's never going to change. They're going to be at the top. And any of those guys that are out there watching that I've been fortunate enough to coach, and any that I didn't coach that played at UNC, it's a special place. And you are the reason that we have everything that we have and the championships that we've won. And the last thing I'll say in this statement is I got to meet with the team today. It was extremely exciting. I had to follow Coach Fox, which is always hard to do. But it was a special moment, one I will never forget. But again, it's about the players, and I wanted to make sure they knew that hopefully soon we'll be able to get back on the field because it's been a long time.
Thank you all. My apologies with the audio. Right now, we will send a clean feed to everyone at the end of the press conference. So if you have a question, please message me and I'll call on you. And if you can unmute yourself at that point and ask your question, we'll proceed with questions.
Coach Fox, I'll start off with you. You mentioned just kind of how you've been thinking about this over the last few months and speaking with your wife. Do you have any inclination when the season ended back in March that you would lean towards retirement, or is this more of a result of everything that's happened in the last few months?
No, I didn't have much of an inclination at the end of last year. I just I think as we all did, as life just came to a standstill, and then you had to worry about your health and your family. and staying healthy, and like I said, life drastically slowed down for all of us. And I think through that period of time, as most Americans did, you start to reflect on really truly what is important. And I think we all know that family is first, should be first, is always first. But it's very difficult to do in this profession. This is not a very family-friendly profession just because of the nature of it. So I got to experience life without it, and I guess somewhat practice retirement, if you will, and found that I enjoyed it, and being able to spend time with my grandchildren and my children was truly special, and I look forward to doing that in the future.
Mike, are there any games jump out for you? That first College World Series in 06 or Florida Atlantic or anything like that?
As far as the memories, Mark?
Yeah.
That was a practice question. And I'm like, there's so many. Oh my gosh, yeah. Certainly those two you mentioned, but there's hundreds and thousands of them. I mean, just special moments. I said I wasn't going to single out any, certainly any player, but I mean, obviously that first, that first trip to Omaha, that's what you're looking for and trying to do. So it's hard not for that memory to come up, but there's just been many of them, just many special ones with just kids, even after they've left, weddings and special moments with kids. That's what I'm going to miss, is that excitement, and certainly those dog piles and those celebrations in the locker room. I think any coach would tell you that. But I tried, especially over the last 4 or 5 years, hopefully longer than that of my career, I really tried to truly enjoy each and every day and make every day special, and those create memories in themselves, just being around young kids.
Luke, go ahead.
Mike, on that note, when you went back to Omaha in 2018, there was a certain amount of joy in your celebration after the game. I'm just wondering, that period where you guys had that little bit of a drought and then to go back, how were you able to kind of keep that joy and that sort of enjoyment of this for that long, over that period of time, where you were like someone who was going for the first time at that point?
Well, you're with a different group of kids, so you're trying to see their joy, so you immediately turn to those kids. At that time, at 18, it was pretty much all of them, because we hadn't been since 13. So it's just the fact that those kids were going to experience it, and that's the joy. That's the joy of coaching. Certainly, we were all excited to be going back, but to see those kids being able to go back, I mean, they had heard about it, and now you just know they're getting ready to experience something that is going to last them a lifetime. That's the coolest part of coaching, and I was excited every single time we made it to Omaha. I guess that one hug with Cheryl just happened to be captured on video, but we did that every time we got there, because it was a special moment. Yeah, that was those are great moments.
Go ahead, Greg.
Mike, at what point coaching alongside Scott did you maybe get the sense or know that one day he was going to be able to be a head coach and possibly follow your position right away? Well,
I've felt that for a number of years, that Scott was going to be a tremendous head coach. He's been involved in every aspect of our program, and has really truly besides the other assistant coaches that he mentioned and that work with us, they've been directly responsible for bringing each and every one of these terrific players, to our campus, and these great kids and their families. And that's the lifeblood of the program. You can have everything perfect about your program, but we all know you have to have good players. And I've known for quite some time as extremely personable. He makes that immediate connection with kids and with families. His passion. He has his priorities in the right order. He loves what he does, and he's infectious. He's one of the most positive people I've ever been around. He's helped me. He can say what he wants to. He's helped me more than I've helped him over the years, especially the last probably 4 or 5. And I know he's ready, and I can't thank Bubba enough, and the chancellor, like Scott said. That has given me the biggest peace of mind, knowing that Scott's going to be the head coach here. That makes me feel incredibly happy. I'm happy for him.
Mark?
Yeah, Mike, on a kind of more macro sense, there's a lot of things for you to be proud about over the course of your great career, but what about raising the profile of college baseball in this market? Specifically, you and Elliot have really, I think, done that over the last 2 decades.
Well, very proud of that, and college baseball, did and has exploded, greatly, and I think all of us have helped each other in that regard in terms of the programs and raising the bar. The old saying, the one ship, the tide rises, everybody rises, and you've seen that throughout the country, and fortunately here we've been able to keep up and build an incredible stadium, and I think we all help each other. We're adversaries and we want to beat each other, but competition's the name of the game, and it brings out the best in people. It can bring out the worst, but it can also bring out the best if you want to be good. So yeah, that's been great to see the college baseball continuing to grow, and I think it will continue, hopefully.
Mike?
I've got a question for Coach Forbes. It's great you don't have to move. I'm sure there's a lot that you will take with you moving forward, and especially learning under Coach Fox. But what impact are you hoping to have on the program as the new head coach?
I just want to keep the program in the direction it's going and continue to build. And like Coach just said, college baseball now is so competitive. And to stay at the top, it takes a lot of hard work, and that's just, there's no replacing it. Hard work and communication, and, we're just going to do the same thing we've been doing. Obviously, the program is the program, and we all play for Coach, so we know what works, and we're just going to continue to recruit hard and hopefully get back to Omaha. Just want to keep the program in the
Greg, go ahead.
Scott, what is it about UNC? Obviously, you've been here for many years, but what was it about this program and Mike Fox specifically that makes you want to be the head coach at UNC other than the head coach at a different school maybe earlier in your career?
It's just a special place. When you're here as long as I've been, and you've seen the changes, you've seen the landscape of college athletics and how it's changed. But I've looked at other schools and I've been fortunate enough to have some chances. But I always went back to UNC. It's just special. And until you're here, you don't know it quite as much. It's an unbelievable institution. You have a huge amount of support. Our student athletes get so much support. The campus is unbelievable, and the degree is going to carry your entire life. And when you have those, and then you've been lucky and you end up having a good baseball program, it can really help you get the best players in the country, because you can look a kid and his family and say, hey, we have a chance to go to Omaha, but more importantly, you're going to leave here and you're going to have a degree that's going to carry you your entire life. And there aren't many, there's a ton of unbelievable schools, but man, to be able to go to Omaha and get that caliber degree is not easy to be able to do.
Go ahead, Mark.
Mike, is there anything you learned over the years, like advice you would have given your younger self, and advice maybe now you can pass on to your successor about how to be successful in this position?
Wow, well, I mean, we get to my age, we all think, boy, I wish I knew back then what I know now. Yeah, you learn a lot about yourself every day if you're hopefully if you can self-reflect and you look yourself in the mirror. And we ask our players to pretty much do that every day. Hey, you're questioning, why you're not playing or this. Let's look yourself in the mirror first. And you can't ask your players to do that and you not do it yourself. So fortunately, I've had people in my life, and I made the statement about my coaches and about Cheryl and the people close to you who will tell you the truth, and saying, hey, this is not right, or you shouldn't do this, or so you're constantly learning. I mean, I'm still learning, I'm still learning right now, and because this is extremely hard to hold this together. But yeah, I think you learn from your experiences here. I've told Scott this is a marathon, not a sprint, because that's his personality is he wants to leave here and get on the field right now. So it's and that's a good thing. But you just have to slow down sometimes. You do have to smell the roses. Maybe don't take yourself too seriously. This is it's still supposed to be fun. And that's been the biggest struggle when you want to win so badly and you want to get back to Omaha and you want to win a national title. I mean, that's a given, but you still have to keep it in perspective every day and make sure these kids are having the best experience they can, and that's a daily thing.
A quick follow-up. Did you run this by our buddy Chut in Thailand first, or how do you think he's taking the news?
I'm sorry, I did not hear that question.
I said, did you run this by our buddy Chut in Thailand first, or how do you think he's taking the news?
Man, he's one I forgot to call and let him know. I don't know what time it is over there. Maybe I still have time to do that.
Anything else? Again, thank you guys so much.